Sophie, I'm so excited to be here. I'll just go and share my screen. So let me do that for you now. So ImmerseMe is quite a new tool. We are, if you can tell by my accent, I'm based over in Auckland, New Zealand, and I just want to say kia ora and g'day to all of our friends over in Australia. So over the last 5 years, I've been working on ImmerseMe, which is a virtual reality based interactive language tool. And as you can see here, we've decided to take on quite a few languages at once. But today I'm going to show you English. So let's just jump in and have a little play. Now, I say virtual reality, but that's because we're using 3D technology, but you can actually do this on any device. So what we have is a whole range of contextualized scenarios that students could find themselves in and could use to practice their speaking, their listening, and their reading and writing in the context of a whole range of interactive situations. So I'm going to jump in and have a go at ordering myself a wee coffee here just to show you what this is all about. I'm going to click play, and we're just going to wait for this 3D experience to load. Here we go. Click play to start lesson.
Hi, welcome to the Lido Cafe. What can I get for you?
Hello, I would like a coffee, please.
Sure, what kind of coffee would you like?
Can I get a cappuccino, please?
Would you like sugar in your coffee?
No, thanks.
Would you like to have it to sit in or to take away?
Can I have it to take away, please?
That'll be $2.50, please, and that will be with you shortly. Here's your takeaway coffee. Enjoy.
So I'm just going to pause that really quick. So what I'm doing is just showing you what we've created, basically. But these are all 3D videos, 360-degree videos, which means that if you have access to a virtual reality headset, then if you pop that on, then you feel truly sort of immersed in the situation, and all you can see is the inside of whatever location we've decided to transport you to. We also provide these speech bubbles along the top, and the one along the bottom here is just, this is for pronunciation mode, which is just stepping the students through the conversation one sentence at a time, and it's just giving them some alternative ways of responding. And so the idea for learners is that, 3 or 4 different ways is probably enough, and we just want them to practice their speaking in a sort of a safe learning environment, so students can be literally anywhere doing this in an asynchronous manner, which means that teachers that are using our program can assign, speaking revision for homework, or can spread the students out in the classroom and give them some space to have these interactive conversations with their device. And so they can actually access audio as well, so they can click play audio.
Smells delicious. Thank you.
And they can slow that down as well. They can switch into their base language if they're not sure about the meaning of a sentence. So we support quite a few different base languages. This example is just Spanish. And so if I switch it back to English, I can record this final sentence. It smells great, thanks. And so what it's allowing me to do is if I reach the accuracy threshold for that particular sentence, it'll allow me to continue on through the dialogue, and the students can choose what accuracy threshold they set. So at the start, I chose medium, but you can drop it back to 50% accuracy or bump it up to 100% accuracy for that particular lesson. And then what we do is we provide that conversation in a number of different ways. So the same conversation, but this time students can listen to that sentence, or listen to each sentence and type it out, where they're shown exactly what to write on the screen. Then they can listen to the sentence and spell it themselves. So they're not actually given the spelling of the words, but they're still shown the punctuation. Then they can move into sort of a translation mode where it shows the sentence we want them to say, but in their language. And they have to now come up with that target English sentence from one of these model sort of responses on the pre-lesson page. So the limitation at the moment is that you do have to kind of give one of these model answers, but we are continually adding variations to that. Then the immersion mode, where we are giving them sort of a third person instruction, like tell them you want a coffee politely using the word coffee. And we're expecting them to try and come up with one of those model sentences from that information. So, hello, I would like a coffee, please, or can I have a coffee, or can I please get a coffee? I'd like a coffee. Those are all acceptable responses in this scenario, and the information they're getting is all in English, and they're also being supplied some keywords to help them assist their response. And so you can download these scripts into a PDF, and then students can kind of refer to that PDF if they feel like they need to, if they get stuck. And if I jump back out of this particular lesson, I'll just quickly show you, we can modify the layout of our content to match whatever textbook or whatever unit plan or whatever curriculum you might be following. We've literally got hundreds and hundreds of scenarios across beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So that's kind of A1 through to C2 level. And so basically, yeah, there's a whole lot of content filmed sort of all over the world. Some of it's been filmed here in New Zealand for English, some of it's been filmed in the UK. We're working on building some more US-centric material as well as Australian material in the future. And as a teacher, you can grab, there's like fish and chip shop scenarios and things. You can grab a link to a particular unit and you can email that to students or drop it in your learning management system. Or if you go to your menu at the top right, you can go to what's called our teacher dashboard, and you'll be able to get data and analytics on who's been using it recently, which groups have been using it the most. You can see number of responses recorded overall. You can see number of percentage accuracy per student as well, how many conversations they've started, how many lessons they've finished. You can drill down to the student level and you can filter their list of lesson data by language, by mode, by level, by start date, end date, and you can export those values and use that for grading purposes. You can also set up a task. So if I want to have my students focus on, ordering food, for example, then I can create a new section. I might say one pathway per mode is fine. I'll just use the default layout. I'll start this immediately and I'll make it due on Friday. I'll click next. Then I'll find my class from the list. So schools need to send us their students in order to get set up properly. And then they might go and say, let's do fish and chip shop. And let's go to the restaurant and then go next. Oops, my Zoom window keeps getting in the way. There we go. Now I can differentiate this task. So I can say which modes I want each student to focus on. So I know that Thomas Brown just needs to work on his pronunciation for the moment, whereas Scott Cardwell, like, he's amazing. He can actually not do pronunciation or typing, but actually spelling, translation, and immersion. And that'll show me how many sentences that student needs to record in order to complete the task. So it'll also estimate how long that should take in terms of hours, minutes, and seconds. So what I can do is I can cap that at, say, 40 points to make it fair for everybody, which is about 20 minutes worth of revision. Then I click assign. That creates a new unit, and there's a link to that here. If I click on the link, I can paste that link into my learning management system. And when the students have an account and they log in and click on that, it'll take them straight into this unit that I've just created, and it'll give them all the lessons that I want them to focus on and a points target for them to achieve. And then once the students have done it, you can go back to your teacher dashboard, click view report, and it gives you a percentage tracker on each student and how much they've completed. So the real benefit of this is the asynchronous environment, I guess, being able to assign this kind of revision to students and have them, at home where they feel most comfortable and I guess less anxious. We've done quite a bit of research on that and found that this has actually reduced the anxiety of students in the study that we've done. It's also increased their willingness to communicate and their self-perceived communicative competence as well, which is great. I think as soon as those factors go in the opposite direction, as we know, the effective filter goes up, and students don't want to sort of pretend like they or try when they think they could fail. So there's no real failing on here. It's all just practice. And yeah, we're constantly adding new material, we're going to be making the sentences a bit more dynamic and allowing students to modify their responses from a sort of set of chunks that are split up in the sentence. And yeah, it's all here really. If you work as part of a school that has multiple languages or you just do English, then feel free to get in touch. What I might do is drop our contact us form onto the Zoom chat. And if you want, you can get a complimentary teacher admin account, which allows you to sort of set up all these classes and things like that. And it's Australian dollars for an academic license. It's $40 plus GST, which I just checked, which is 10% in Australia. So it's $44 per student per year as a sort of an annual subscription to the website. and that'll give them access to all of that content. So I'll just put this in the chat. I haven't actually been looking at the chat, unfortunately, but I'll look at that afterwards. But if you wanted to get in touch, you can fill in that form there. And actually, one thing I will mention that was talked about in one of the earlier sessions was around screencasting. So that's a really good idea to combine that technology with something like ImmerseMe. I'm just going to show you a really quick video of what it looks like if you ask your students to screencast or screen record, sorry, I should say, a few of their lessons for you. So let me just play this video really quick. And I'll just pause it quickly. It is actually not in English, this particular example, but you get the gist anyway.
Excusez-moi, vous parlez français?
Oui, qu'est-ce que je peux faire pour vous?
Pourriez-vous m'aider car je cherche mon chemin?
Oui, bien sûr. Où est-ce que vous voulez aller?
Où se trouve la gare?
C'est tout droit jusqu'au feu et c'est tout au bout à gauche. La gare est après sur la droite.
Ok, donc je vais tout droit jusqu'au feu, puis tout à bout à gauche, et puis la gare est juste après sur la droite.
C'est bien ça.
Merci beaucoup.
So I'll just pause that and quickly explain what she was just talking about. She's like, excuse me, can you help me find directions to the nearest train station? She said, yeah, absolutely. And she said, it's just down the road around the corner and it's the second street on your left or something like that. And then she's gone, okay, let me just clarify. So it's down the road around the corner and second street on the left. And she's like, that's perfect. Thank you very much. And so this is the student up in the top right-hand corner with their video on. And obviously you can then sort of watch this conversation taking place. And you could have all the students submit their video to you for feedback, and you could send them a wee video reply saying how well they went. But ultimately, the program is actually marking them all the way through. So if they're reaching the accuracy threshold, then there's no real grading you need to do as such. All that data will be available in your report, and so they'll just have a really visual record of their interactive skills and their speaking skills. So let me just check the time. I think I've still got 5 more minutes. So maybe I might have a look at this chat here. If there's any questions, I might have a look at that. Otherwise, I can sort of stick around afterwards. I'll put in the chat actually the pricing for this. So this is AU $40, $44 actually, including GST. Per student per year. And then complimentary setup and teacher admin accounts. Cool. Q&A section. I'm going into there now. How do we access the free? So there's a demo account on our homepage. Hold on.
Guten Morgen, kann ich Ihnen helfen?
Oh my gosh, close that tab. You can actually just have a little login and play using email demo password demo. But if you want to get in touch with us and get the full range of lessons and for us to run sort of a professional development session with your team, then put your details in here and I can send you a free teacher admin account for you to have a play. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we do some competitions and things like that. We just ran one last month in May called the ImmerseMe Games, and we had about 20,000 students registered who recorded almost 700,000 sentences through the website. And that was all happening in their homes and mainly outside of class time. So it's cool to think the power of this kind of technology for asynchronous learning to reinforce and allow all your students to practice and ultimately give every single one of them a language assistant to sit and spend some time talking to them. And we have so much content in here covering beginner through to advanced. We drafted up, I mean, think of a topic, environment, right? So there is situations in here where you are discussing the effects of technology on the environment. And so what you do is you get dropped into a scenario where you have to provide a perspective on this topic. And it's not to say that that's the only perspective, but it is a perspective, and it hopefully will help students to see how to kind of construct really concise sentences, give a statement, example, elaboration. and be able to practice that themselves in their own time without the pressure of sort of talking in front of a native speaker or in front of their classmates. So yeah, it's all here. I'm just like wondering if there's anything else people want to ask me. There's no minimum of students. You can register 1 or 100 or 1,000. Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for letting me present. And yeah, I'm keen to hear from anybody that wants to fill in that form, and we can jump on a Zoom together and chat about how this could really help their students to practice the language. So yeah, I'll just stop my screen share.